Come in.
Hey, did I catch you guys at a bad time?
No, we're waiting for you.
Oh, I'm
Hi.
Derrek Tarter from Fastenal.
Mary.
Robert.
Robert, nice to meet you.
Smith.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's a great day out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The birds were chirping on the way in.
That's important.
We live in America, and I was also
Well, there you go.
fortunate enough to walk through your guys' showroom on the way in. I noticed your line of deck boats sitting out there.
Mm-hmm.
They really caught my eye. I'm actually in the market for a new deck boat coming up this summer, and so.
They're pretty expensive.
Yeah, I understand the thought of those price tags, but I guess that's a occasion for a different day.
Yeah.
Today we're here to talk about you guys and Ski Master and some of your inventory and purchasing and receiving operations.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, I understand that we have about 15 minutes today. Is that still working
Yeah,
for you guys?
that's about right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so, Mary, I understand that you're the purchasing agent.
Yeah.
Robert, what is your position here?
I'm the head of maintenance.
Okay.
So I do all the maintenance on, you know, the standard day-to-day maintenance, and if anything breaks down out there. So we handle facility maintenance as well as any of our line maintenance, maintenance on all of our air systems and tools, and basically anything that goes on here that breaks down, we get a call.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, today, my plan for the meeting was to talk a little bit about your purchasing operations and your receiving and your inventory management. In order to keep this nice and flowing, I just broke it down into those three categories. Does that work well for you guys?
That works for me.
Yeah.
Is there any other people that should be involved with this meeting covering those topics?
I don't think today yet, no.
Okay. Okay, well, before we get started, do you guys understand what we are at Fastenal and what we kind of do?
I mean, I've looked on your website a couple of times to find things, but very little.
Okay. Well, so we obviously supply fasteners, tools, safety equipment, office supplies, janitorial, pretty much everything and anything you can name of. But what we actually do that differentiates ourselves from our customers, or from our competitors, I'm sorry, we provide a system that creates organization and efficiency in our clients' purchasing operations, or purchasing, receiving, and inventory management system. And so, just to get started, can I ask you guys a couple questions about your specifics on the purchasing orders?
Sure.
Okay. Well, about how many purchasing orders are you sending out weekly for MRO material?
It really depends on what we've got going on with maintenance. I mean, if it's just stuff for the line, probably 20, but that could probably as much as double depending what he's got going on, or, you know, what kind of supplies he needs.
Okay. And how do you know when to send out those purchase orders?
Basically for our internal crib stock items, we have min-maxes established in the system, but sometimes those get off and, you know, we have to UPS next day or some things in if somebody just goes into the crib and grabs things and takes them out to the line. Otherwise, if he needs things for repairs, he'll just send me a requisition, and then I'll double check the pricing and submit an order. So typically how we do it. So otherwise he has a P card too, and he'll go in to make some stops every now and again and buy some things. So
okay. So it sounds like then with this current system you guys are working with, that the communication between the managers needs to be pretty excellent in order to keep everything running smoothly?
Correct, yes. And our inventory needs to be on, which isn't always the case, but
okay. Okay. And what happens if the inventory is off and you're, let's say, missing a essential piece of inventory for the production line?
Well, we're either doing a next day air, or we're calling a courier to bring things in from, you know, whoever we can find that's close. So that does happen on occasion where we have some abrasive wheels or something that, you know, the line forgot to mark a requisition sheet when they took it out of the crib, and it says we have 100, we actually have 0, or, you know, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it can cause us some big problems or potentially shut a line down.
So with those overnight couriers and whatnot, I'm sure that some additional costs come with that sort of stuff.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes. Our UPS bill can fluctuate depending on what we've got going with our inventory month to month. So, yeah, can cause some problems.
Mm-hmm. And how is that affecting your overall cash flow then in the business?
Obviously it has its effect on things, and then it's usually, you know, not a cost that we can easily pass on through the cost of our boats, because it's, you know, a separate charge, and so it's not easy to carry through with the total cost of the product.
Mm-hmm.
So, then obviously when he needs things, his is, you know, a maintenance type of a thing, so it's a total expense. So if we have a higher UPS charge, the expense is obviously higher going into the repair. But
Okay. Well, with you, Robert, what types of materials are you currently using? Like, what's your most often types of materials? Are you ordering stuff on a regular basis, or is it more per job, to say?
Well, we have a standard product mix or inventory that I carry for all our preventive maintenance back there. But it all depends on the job. I mean, I have a tool crib like a lot of people do, and it's kind of a mess, because I don't know what I'm gonna need. I may need, I may need a puller one day for hydraulics, I may need fasteners, I may need bearings, I may need, plumbing, black pipe. It varies every day. So, we try to keep it organized, but I might have a job come up, and if I need something, I just order it, and then 2 days later I find the same stuff back there, and so we try to shove it back on a shelf. So it's kind of a mess, back there. So it's your typical maintenance crib, I think.
Okay. So from my understanding, you guys are pretty much running a smooth show, other than sometimes you're getting caught up with additional freight charges. With some of the specific materials you might need and not have, or have on hand, but you can't find it in the bag.
Yeah. That's definitely that's a difficult thing. Since we have 2 shifts, the second shift guy may come in, take stuff out of the crib, not write it down. I don't know. The next day we're needing it for a standard maintenance procedure, and then getting a hold of Mary going, hey, I need something by noon, and she's scrambling. And when she scrambles, half the time she doesn't give me really what I want, because she's looking at the price, and I'm like, hey, I need this. And then she gets a little feisty, like she did right there.
Okay.
And we have issues.
Okay. Well, could you guys see value in a system that would reduce the miscommunication between you guys, and maybe keep better track of your inventory in order to reduce these double ordered inventory products, or stock outs on certain products? Could you see the value in a system that would help that?
Definitely be of value. We just need to know how we can, accomplish something like that internally. So
Okay.
Right now, we really haven't seen a clear system to make that happen. So.
That's understandable. Well, I don't want to get into that right now. I still want to understand a little bit more about you guys' company. Can we switch gears a little bit and talk about your receiving and inventory management? How do you guys currently receive a majority of your MRO products? Like, is most of it through UPS, like you mentioned before, or are you having vendors and suppliers come out to the plant?
Almost all of it is UPS. I mean, we use Grainger pretty heavily. MSC, McMaster-Carr, and that's usually, all UPS and FedEx dock-to-dock delivery.
Okay. And are you guys happy with getting boxes on boxes from receiving in FedEx, or would it be better if someone was actually there face-to-face helping you guys with understanding what you have, where you have it, what you need, when you can get it, and formal?
It'd obviously be a benefit. I just don't know if we'd have a supplier that could keep up with as much time as we'd need. I mean, depending on which boats we're making, we could maybe sit on something for a month, or we could go through 5 of them in a week. It totally depends on what we're making that week and what's going through our facility.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to order from, and if they have it the next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's tough to know what I'm gonna need. And so if we don't have a supplier that can get it to me the next day, it kind of defeats the purpose. So I think that's why we receive in a lot of boxes every day, because we order a lot of stuff the day before. For the job.
Okay. So it's mostly just those hefty charges that are tacked onto there is the main issue.
I don't even know how much they charge.
Well, they usually bill our UPS account, so it depends if we're doing a next day or whatever, but, I mean, $6, $8 on a box, and that's about the smallest charge we get, so, it totally depends what we're getting. But I mean, if there was a way to eliminate or reduce that, we would just need some vendor support that's more frequent, because obviously, like I said, our usages can fluctuate so much depending on what's being repaired or what's being made, so.
Okay. And how are you guys managing your inventory once it's in the warehouse? It's going into a database with mins and sizes you've mentioned?
Ideally, sometimes we go straight out to the line, depending, you know, if our crib's empty, sometimes we get it straight off the dock and send it right out to the line. We've got a receiving person sorting through the stuff, deciding what's needed right now. And he's going out there grabbing his stuff for maintenance and usually sorting through our stock stuff to find what he needs for his area.
Okay.
So,
How many months worth of inventory, like MRO inventory, are you usually keeping on hand?
Depending on the item, I'd say, a couple months, but in our busy season, that could, we could be going through a couple of them a week, so it can really fluctuate. In the slower times in the winter, we're sitting on it a little bit longer, 2-3 months.
So you have a good sized area designated out just for inventory then?
Correct, yeah, and space is getting to be a constraint for us because of our expansion with the bolt line.
Do you think if you weren't spending so much space on inventory, you could maybe put in another production line? Is there enough space for that? Is it taking up that much space, would you say?
I'd say it's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know, that's kinda not my deal, that's probably the production managers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are running out of crib space, that's for sure, so we kinda, just jam it where we can find it.
Well, and your maintenance area is always completely packed full of stuff as well, so.
Yeah, it's packed.
Okay, I understand. So, little summary that you guys are currently receiving most of your product through UPS, and then some of it's going directly out to the line, some of it's getting stored jam-packed back in these back shelving that's taking up who knows how much space, which ideally could be used in order to help you guys grow the company. Do you think that it would be beneficial if you could reduce the amount of inventory you guys kept on hand, but you could still get it on time and in the process that you need it for?
Yeah, as long as I have it on time,
Yeah.
it'd be great to have a clean crib back there so I could find what I needed.
Okay.
If that's a possibility, it'd definitely be a benefit to us. So.
And so part of the process with us at Fastenal is we actually have a sales support designated out to you guys that's actually there with how much product you guys might be using is pretty much how often we'll be there. And so you might have someone there 2 times a day throughout the entire year that's talking to both of you, talking to every one of your line managers in order to, hey, is there any issues that arose? Do you need anything today? Like, we have this, we can get it. And so could you see the value in having that face-to-face interaction with someone instead of, calling your vendor over the phone and ordering online?
I think so, as long as they be knowledgeable and then, not waste too much of my guys' time simply because, they're busy, they have to get projects done. So it would have to, when you say if they're here that much, I just wanna make sure that we're getting things done as opposed to bugging people out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, that's great. Well, unfortunately, I think we're running close on the 15 minutes for today's meeting. Do you guys think that we should set up another meeting for next week sometime maybe? I can go back and figure out some of the solutions that I think would best fit the needs we discovered today, and I can come back and present to you guys and maybe anyone else that you guys think should be in on the meeting?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea from my perspective.
Definitely, sure.
Okay, well, great. Well, I will send you both a recap email today, and we'll schedule something for early next week.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Well, perfect. Well,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for the time.
Nice
today.
meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.